When we think of ancient Rome, our minds immediately conjure images of gleaming white marble, majestic colosseums, and the unstoppable, synchronized march of the Roman legions. We imagine a civilization of unparalleled engineering, profound philosophy, and unimaginable wealth. But beneath the surface of this glorious empire, hiding just behind the sweet smoke of temple incense, was a stench so overpowering, so uniquely acrid, that it would make a modern person violently ill. Rome was not just built on stone, steel, and blood. It was built, quite literally, on human waste. What you are about to hear will fundamentally change the way you look at the ancient world. Because thousands of years before the discovery of germ theory, the Romans unlocked a powerful chemical secret. A secret that cleaned their clothes, treated their wounds, and built massive fortunes. Today, we are diving into one of the most repulsive, yet astonishingly brilliant practices of antiquity, the shocking role of urine in ancient Roman life. To understand this bizarre reality, imagine walking down a bustling street in the heart of Rome 2,000 years ago. Between the bakeries, the taverns, and the grand villas, you would notice large clay pots placed strategically on the street corners. Throughout the day, citizens would casually step up to these vessels to relieve themselves, completely out in the open. This was not a lack of public decency, this was civic duty. These pots were not just toilets, they were collection points for a thriving, highly profitable, and essential industry. Human urine was considered liquid gold. But why? The answer lies in chemistry. When urine is left to age and stagnate, its chemical composition begins to devolve and break down. As it rots in the open air, it produces ammonia, a highly alkaline, toxic, and colorless gas with a suffocating odor. Today, ammonia is a primary ingredient in heavy-duty household cleaners, glass sprays, and industrial solvents because of its corrosive and fat-dissolving nature. The Romans didn't know the chemical formula, but they understood the results. A highly concentrated solution of ammonia will burn through human tissue and corrode metal. But when diluted, as it naturally is in aged urine, it becomes a miraculous substance. It breaks down grease, destroys dirt, softens rigid organic materials, and kills certain bacteria. The Romans took this natural chemical weapon and applied it to almost every aspect of their daily lives. Let us start with the mighty Roman military and the fashion of the elite. The Roman legions conquered the known world wearing durable leather armor and marching in heavy leather sandals. The senators debated in the forum wrapped in pristine, bright woolen togas. None of this would have been possible without buckets of human waste. Roman tanneries were hellish, foul-smelling nightmare factories located on the outskirts of the city. To transform stiff, rotting animal hides into flexible, high-quality leather, the tanners needed something to break down the tough animal tissues and loosen the hair. Their solution? Enormous vats filled with a putrid mixture of water and aged urine. Workers would submerge the raw animal pelts into this foul stew, allowing the ammonia to eat away at the rigid fibers. The leather would soften, becoming malleable enough to be manipulated into armor, horse tack, and the footwear worn by everyone from the lowest foot soldier to the highest-ranking politician. But the fashion industry didn't stop there. The famous Roman sheep's wool, used for crafting those iconic tunics, was inherently full of natural, greasy lanolin. To clean the wool and prepare it for spinning, it was soaked in the same human waste. Once the garments were woven and ready to be dyed with expensive natural colors, aged urine stepped in once again. It acted as a mordant, a perfect chemical binding agent that locked the dye into the fabric, ensuring the colors remained vibrant under the harsh Mediterranean sun. This method was so incredibly effective that it didn't just end with the fall of Rome. Urine continued to be used by tanners and tailors across Europe for hundreds of years. But perhaps the most visually disturbing use of this liquid was in the Roman laundromats, known as the phalonicas. Keeping thousands of white togas clean in a dusty, dirty city was a massive undertaking. The workers in these laundromats, known as full ones, had one of the most degrading jobs in the ancient world. Imagine an enclosed, humid room, reeking of ammonia and sweat. Along the walls are deep stone tubs filled with clothes, water, and days-old, fermented urine collected from the street pots. The full ones would strip down, climb into these tubs barefoot, and spend hours vigorously stomping on the soaking garments. They were human washing machines. The ammonia would chemically bind to the dirt, sweat, and grease trapped in the fabric, breaking it down completely. After hours of stomping in this repulsive sludge, the clothes were rinsed in clean water and hung out to dry. Thanks to the intense bleaching power of the ammonia, the garments came out softer, brighter, and incredibly clean. Yet, the use of urine extended far beyond clothing and leather. It seeped into the most intimate aspects of Roman life, medicine and personal hygiene. Centuries before scientists understood what bacteria or viruses were, the Romans were using human waste as a disinfectant. It sounds like madness, but it worked. Battlefield medics and local physicians would use aged urine to flush out open wounds and lacerations. They were unknowingly utilizing the high ammonia content to scorch the bacteria living inside the injury. While it must have burned with the fire of Hades, this primitive antiseptic stopped infections from spreading, preventing gangrene and saving countless limbs and lives. Through pure, disgusting trial and error, the Romans had stumbled upon a fundamental pillar of modern medicine. And they applied this medical theory to cosmetics, too. Because ammonia effectively strips away heavy natural oils and kills bacteria, Romans suffering from severe acne or skin diseases would use urine as a harsh facial toner. They would apply it to their skin to dry out blemishes, attempting to achieve a clearer, smoother complexion, enduring the eye-watering smell for the sake of beauty. But as with all things in history, human behavior can always push the boundaries of what is considered acceptable. Shockingly, there are historical accounts suggesting that urine was swished in people's mouths as an ancient remedy for toothaches and sore throats. Some Roman doctors even prescribed the actual drinking of urine as a cure for various internal diseases. It requires a terrifying level of mental fortitude to imagine someone suffering from a fever, reaching for a cup of human waste, and swallowing it in hopes of a cure. It was a desperate extension of their belief in the liquid's purifying power. There is also a long-standing historical debate about urine being used as a daily mouthwash to whiten teeth. However, modern historians, like Dr. Michael Bishop, argue that this specific, grotesque practice originated with the Celtiberian tribes of ancient Spain, not the Romans. In fact, if a Roman citizen was caught brushing their teeth with urine, they would likely have been severely ridiculed by their peers. They drew the line at drinking it for medicine. Daily dental care was just a step too far. Because this liquid was so vital to the military, the fashion industry, and public health, it spawned a massive, booming economy. The demand for urine was so astronomical that it caught the attention of the imperial palace. Emperor Nero, always looking for ways to fund his lavish lifestyle, was the first to recognize the financial potential of human waste, enforcing a tax to regulate its trade. But it was a later ruler, Emperor Vespasian, who truly capitalized on it. Following a devastating civil war, the Roman treasury was empty. Vespasian needed money, and he needed it fast. He introduced a sweeping, highly unpopular tax on the collection of urine from the public street urinals that the state funded. His own son, Titus, was disgusted by the idea. He openly complained to his father that taxing human waste was beneath the dignity of the Roman Empire. In response, Vespasian famously held a gold coin up to his son's nose and asked him if it smelled. When Titus replied that it did not, Vespasian uttered the legendary phrase, "Pecunia non olet." Money does not stink. Regardless of where the money came from, it spent exactly the same. Vespasian's urine tax helped rebuild Rome, including funding the construction of the legendary Colosseum. The story of urine in ancient Rome is a stark reminder of human ingenuity. In a society that lacked complex chemical manufacturing, they used the only abundant resource they had. From forging the armor that conquered the world, to bleaching the togas of emperors, to disinfecting the wounds of gladiators, the ammonia harvested from aging pools of waste maintained a highly functional society. It was an incredibly efficient, albeit revolting, way to manage a metropolis. But as we look back at the dark, pungent alleys of the Eternal City, we can all agree on one thing: drinking it, washing in it, and stomping in it, is a practice better left buried deep in the ancient world.